So we got inside Howard Rubin's perverted NYC pen with a built-in sex dungeon where he allegedly tortured dozens of women. A short walk from the home where longtime Wall Street financier Howard Rubin lived with his wife and 3 children in Manhattan. He kept a second apartment, the $18,000 a month penthouse at Metropolitan Tower condominium on 57th Street, just below Central Park, has excellent views, but most of his visitors never got to see them. According to prosecutors, Rubin converted the place into a seedy built-in sex dungeon where he allegedly tortured dozens of women with savage beatings, rape, and even electrocutions. So he, did he really, wait. Oh, it was, this guy. Wait, this one? Yeah, wait, what does he look like? He got punched in the eye. Oh, that's why. Because the police fucked him up. Stop resisting! Bah! Right. Let's see. So we got a big Hollywood, big Hollywood star. Or someone who's high profile, right? So apparently he was doing a lot of shady stuff, I guess. Rubin and his assistant, Jennifer Powers, now stand accused of running a $1 million bondage and masochism sex trafficking scheme between 2009 and 2019. Oh, shit. With much of the activity taking place in the soundproofed apartment. Oh, fuck. So they basically had like a sex dungeon going on, I guess. The Post this week reported that how Rubin, worth tens of millions, had a revolving door of women who dined with him at a bistro near the apartment, and court papers describe several of his alleged victims as Playboy models and models. It seemed like he paid for their boobs, butts, and faces. They were all blonde, said a server who asked to remain anonymous. So it looks like they have some sort of insider knowledge or witness, right? Given this statement. There were also red flags, according to a former associate of Rubin's who told the Post, "It's generally not a good sign when men who aren't public figures make women sign non-disclosure agreements before going on dates." So he was one of those secretive big boys, I guess. Fucking doing shady shit. Shady shit in the background, sorry. Once inside his lair, his alleged victims, many of whom say they were lured there under false pretenses, endured depraved behavior. The lockable room was painted red with white carpet and included various sadism and bondage devices and equipment, according to court document obtained by the Post. Among the items in the room was an X-shaped St. Andrew's cross and bed with restraints, where the women would be bound, chained, and gagged, according to the authorities. Oh, here it is. Also inside the dungeon was a collection of sex toys, full face masks with zippers, ropes, chains, metals, hooks, and other devices such as cattle prod used to inflict harm, according to his alleged victims. Wow, holy fuck! So there you have it. So he was into the whole BDSM shit, right? Also inside the dungeon was a collection of sex toys, full face. Oh wait, we already read that, right? On July 30th, 2012, Powers, who allegedly helped lure dozens of women for him to abuse, emailed Rubin with details of how she furnished the dungeon, noting, "I've put chains on the 4 points of your cross and 4 points of the dungeon bed. On the end of each chain is a cuff. I've done this because it will be very easy to just throw someone on the cross or on the bed and just strap them into the pre-made chains and cuffs," federal documents said. One of Rubin's alleged victims said she was tied to the cross, beaten and whipped, a court documents show. Let the evidence show. Well, while hitting another woman, Rubin allegedly stated that she is the baby and Howie is the daddy. The daddy has to beat his baby. Jesus Christ, what is going on? According to the filings. Oh, man. BDSM talk, wow. Rubin even kept a lawyer on retainer whose job was simply to deal with the fallout from all his perverted sources told the Post. People familiar with the luxury building are shocked because while it is very secure and discreet, staff are also very thorough. This place is Fort Knox, a real estate source said. The door staff are incredibly attentive and don't let anything pass them. The front desk takes all of your information every time you enter the building. Maybe paid off the door staff. It's not great, but it's also a pretty common thing to happen in this city. A spokesperson for McLoey Properties, the company that manages the Metropolitan Tower condominium building, declined to comment when contacted by the Post. Attorneys for Rubin and Powers also did not return the Post's requests for comment. Probably because they're under investigation. Well, I mean, because they have a court. Well, there's court proceedings and stuff, so they probably can't. They probably want to not comment. Private kink dens are more common across the city than most people realize. Correct, they are actually. According to one New York real estate advisor who pointed out such facilities are generally built for consensual pleasure and not where illegal activity takes place. If they want a sex dungeon, give them a sex dungeon, he said, in reference to requests he's received. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, right, crazy people do crazy shit, right? Even if you're rich. Yeah, people get crazy requests to do stuff, yeah. We had a situation where we're representing the sellers, and the son of a very well-known children's author came in to see the apartment, and he was asking a lot of particular questions. Through the conversation, we were able to deduce he had a very, shall we say, active social life, and he wanted to make sure the apartment was totally soundproofed. Yeah, that's weird. We had to have a full-on conversation about how do we soundproof this apartment in a way he's not going to disturb the next door neighbor and get noise complaints. It just goes to show every buyer has different search criteria and top priorities. Allegations against Rubin first came to light in 2017 when he was taken to civil court by multiple Florida women who accused him of violent sexual assaults in New York. He was also sued in Brooklyn federal court in 2022. Two of his victims were described in civil court papers as Playboy models, including Amy Moore, Mia Lytle, and a third, Stephanie Caldwell, who was identified as a model and a dancer. Another model and student from Atlanta, Emma Hopper, was also part of the civil litigation against Rubin and Powers. A jury found Rubin, whose 30-year career included a stint at billionaire George Soros' investment firm, liable for millions of dollars, but cleared Powers at a 2022 civil trial in Brooklyn. Another source who was in senior management at Merrill Lynch alongside Rubin and his then wife Mary Henry in the mid-1980s described him as smart with an intuitive feel for the markets. So this is the federal court drawing. But they added he was always out for himself. He was kept on by the very senior people of Merrill Lynch because Merrill Lynch was a sales-driven firm, not a trader-driven firm. So they kept him on because he did large trades. The source said Rubin lost money on both Merrill Lynch and Bear Stearns, but really made his fortune for George Soros. He also said he was never a team player, never hung out with other traders after work. I would see him talking to his wife at work. They had nice homes in Manhattan and in Long Island, and then they did philanthropy. But he was probably doing the same thing he was doing with the women back then. Like I said, he never had a moral compass. The source said. Rubin has pleaded not guilty to the criminal charges and in being held without bail pending his next court date by October 20th. Powers, who now lives in Texas, has also pleaded not guilty and is currently free on bail after posting an $850,000 bond. So there you go. So apparently he might be tied to Soros, and he was doing a bunch of illegal activity, doing human trafficking. It looks like he's a philanthropist, right? Entrepreneur. He invests a lot of money and shit, and that's how he made his living. And he's now a weird sex dungeon perpetrator. Yes. I don't know. And then you have ex-Jets QB Mark Sanchez here. We got an update. This one's an update of what happened before. Erratically body slammed truck driver before being stabbed in Indianapolis. Cops say, this guy is trying to kill me. Former Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez was acting erratically and body slammed an elderly grease truck driver before he was stabbed in the chest in Minneapolis, according to authorities and local reports. That's the reason why he probably took out a knife and stabbed stabbed the ex-quarterback because he's stronger and he knew he was the fucking football player. 69-year-old driver that he stabbed Sanchez in self-defense after the attack, telling cops, this guy is trying to kill me, or documents alleged. Sanchez, 38, was charged with battery, resulting in injury, public intoxication, and an unlawful entry of a motor vehicle for his alleged role in the incident in which he was stabbed by the driver, according to authorities. So apparently he was super drunk, and then he, for whatever reason, started attacking this driver. The retired QB, who spent 4 seasons at the Jets and is now a Fox Sports analyst, was in town for the Raiders-Colts game Sunday. This incident should never have happened, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears said in a statement Sunday. Yeah, unfortunately, but it did. What began as a disagreement between a 38-year-old former professional athlete and a 69-year-old man should not have escalated into violence or left anyone seriously injured. As with any case, we will follow the fact and the law wherever they lead. Sanchez got into an argument with a grease truck driver shortly after midnight Saturday when he complained that the truck, which was parked at a loading dock, was blocking a nearby alley source. Prior to dispute, Sanchez was doing wind sprints in the alley behind the Loftmiller's Pub and Eatery in downtown Indianapolis, where he was drinking and acting erratically, the station reported, citing sources. Video from the neighborhood Indianapolis Marriott downtown motel shows Sanchez approaching and opening the driver's door of the truck, speaking to the driver, and then walking over to the security office doors of the hotel, according to a probable cause affidavit seen by the Indy Star. Unnecessary roughness. The pair then had another interaction before Sanchez started following the driver, who was seen backing away according to the footage described in charging docs. Sanchez is seen running after the man, and the video shows Mr. Sanchez grabbing and throwing the man towards the wall of the Westin, police report in the affidavit. The fight then continued in the alley between a large dumpster and the truck between a 6'2", 230-pound Sanchez allegedly threw the elderly delivery driver to the ground, authorities said. Mr. Sanchez is then seen throwing the man to the ground on the west side of the alley, the affidavit alleged. The fight then continued to the alley. Right. A witness who saw the altercation thought the pair were friends until he saw they were recording each other on their cell phones, according to court records. The grease disposal driver, who was initially incorrectly reported to be a DoorDash delivery driver, told police he used his mace on Sanchez, but the former NFL quarterback kept attacking him. He said he stabbed Sanchez 2 or 3 times, at which point the former athlete stared at him with a look of shock before turning around and heading off up the alley, according to the affidavit. Police found a trail of blood in the alleyway and discovered Sanchez at Loftmiller's Pub and Eatery, a bar next to the alley. Sanchez was rushed to the hospital in critical condition after being stabbed in the chest, but his condition has since been upgraded to stable. So luckily, no vitals have been hit. He was lucky he didn't fucking die. Jesus fuck. He has spoken to with officers, according to the affidavit. All he can remember is a grabbing for a window, said Detective Christopher Edwards, who interviewed Sanchez. He did not know who stabbed him or where the attack happened, police wrote in the affidavit. Well, that's what happens when you're blackout drunk. Sanchez is yet to be booked into the Marion County Jail, according to the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. He was charged after police reviewed area's surveillance video and spoke with the driver of the grease disposal truck, the law enforcement source said. An initial hearing has not yet been set in the case. Sanchez was removed from Sunday's scheduled broadcast crew for the game between the Los Angeles Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts, with the network giving a brief statement on his absence. Friday night in Indianapolis, one of our team members, Mark Sanchez, was involved in an incident that we're still trying to wrap our heads around, Carissa Thompson said during pregame NFL coverage. At this time, our thoughts and prayers are with Mark and his family and all of those involved. The grease removal truck driver suffered a laceration to his left cheek and has since been treated and released from city's Methodist Hospital. Well, there you go. Yeah, gots to be careful. That's what happens when you're drunk. What's this?
A Boston police cruiser repeatedly hit with fireworks and set on fire. Investigators say dozens of people were involved overnight in what they're calling a targeted attack. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ken McLeod. Tonight, 2 people are in custody. And as WBZ's Paul Burton shows us, this wasn't the only incident locally involving a large crowd attacking officers.
Mob of people here, like screaming, banging on the cop cars.
Chaos erupts and people scatter in the streets of Boston as a police cruiser was destroyed by fireworks in what police describe as a large-scale vehicle takeover early Sunday morning.
Definitely unsettling to wake up in the middle of the night and see a cop car on fire outside your window.
These BU students took this cell phone video. They live in the apartment above Mass Ave and Tremont Street.
I just saw the cop car on fire, and then stuff was blowing up while they were putting it out.
Police say shortly after 2 a.m. they responded to reports of people gathered in cars to take part
Oh
in
yeah,
illegal
street
racing
takeover.
and tricks.
As officers approached the scene,
Oh, whoa, looks like they tried to like
pretty much
firebomb.
people, and some of the individuals in the group started to throw cones, poles, and other objects at the officers in the vehicle.
Police say the cruiser was repeatedly hit with fireworks as officers got out to chase down the suspects. Boston Fire Department was able to extinguish the burning police cruiser, but it was a total loss.
Everybody started flocking in on the other side, taking videos, pictures. I saw somebody get arrested over here.
We got about 50 who
In Randolph, a similar incident took place early Sunday morning. Police say around 1:30, cars blocked off an intersection on North Main Street, and a crowd of out-of-control people jumped on the hood of a cruiser and began throwing fireworks. Right now, it's unclear if this is the same group of vandals.
It's under investigations, but these things, they go from town to, it's not a Boston thing, it's a nationwide thing.
Police did arrest 2 individuals
Yeah.
in Boston, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old, both from Rhode Island.
Street takeovers have been
came
happening
into our
all
city
over the country.
to cause disorder and brought dangerous illegal behavior here will be prosecuted.
Police are asking anyone with cell phone video who may have witnessed this to please share that information with them. The 2 individuals will be arraigned in Roxbury District Court. The incident remains under investigation. In Boston, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
All right, Paul.
All right, there you have it. And then you have this.
Breaking news is happening right now.
People who did what they did, who are responsible
We
for
already
opening
talked
fire
about
on
this
each
a
other
little-
like
little
that,
bit.
did not care about the people around them when they did it. And now we have 14 people who have been shot.
Well, the Montgomery police chief vowing not to rest until they found the people responsible for last night's mass shooting. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Jarvis Robertson. Now, it happened around 11:30 last night as the city was hosting several weekend events. Of the 14 people the chief mentioned, 2 of the victims have died. That's 17-year-old Jeremiah Morris and 43-year-old Shalonda Williams. Now, 5 of the victims are said to be in life-threatening condition. Police believe one of the people shot was targeted and others in the crowd fired back. Now, as the search for suspects continued today, WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn is live near the scene in Montgomery Forest. So, Aaron, what have you been able to see now that there is daylight outside?
Yeah, Jarvis, earlier today when we first got to Montgomery, I did talk to an investigator, and she told me that where I am standing right here at the corner of Bibb Street and Commerce Street is exactly near the area where those shots were fired last night, taking the lives of 2 people and injuring a dozen more, excuse me. So we know that this is a pretty high volume area with traffic. We can see that there are people who are walking around here. Again, we did see that there were investigators that were in the area trying to piece together what happened last night. Now, we did see again that there are some people who are walking around and also enjoying the area. And if we turn this way, we can see that there is a memorial that has been started with flowers that are being placed along the trees that are lining the street here. Now, we did see that there were police cars in the area that were blocking the street off as well, again, as those investigators were looking at the scene here. And we did look at the press conference that happened earlier today, and the city is standing firmly that the shooting is not related to the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic, the Alabama State Homecoming, or the Alabama National Fair. They said that the people who were involved in the shooting didn't care about the people who were around them when it happened. Now, police say that the 7 of the people who were shot are younger than 20 years old, with the youngest being 16. So you can only imagine how people feel about the lives who were lost and are going to be affected by the shooting.
Last night's incident was unfortunate, but it was certainly avoidable. It was an incident of bad judgment, selfish behavior, and one that truly put the lives of many, many innocent people in danger.
Now, police did tell us during that press conference that there were guns that were recovered from the scene here and that they had a high capacity of magazines. So you can only imagine how many shots were fired during that time. That took the lives of 2 people and injured dozens. So we do, or a dozen, excuse me. So we do know that police are still investigating. Again, we have seen people in the area investigating, taking a look at the scene here. So anytime that we have new information, we will bring that to you on air and online. For now, we are live here in Montgomery. Aaron Llewellyn, WVTM 13.
Aaron, thanks. Now, authorities are offering a reward of at least $50,000 for information that does lead to an arrest. Right now on our website, you can find all of the developing details on this shooting. That's also where you can find today's full news conference from the chief of police and the Montgomery mayor.
All right. Oh, and then
The
this
woman
one.
shot and wounded by federal agents yesterday in Brighton Park is among 2 people now facing federal charges.
Yeah, apparently
Bernard
there's 2 people
Martinez
being
and
charged,
Anthony
right? This.
Ian
Oh yeah,
Santos
that's right. They showed
Ruiz
this
are
guy too.
from Chicago. Both are accused of using their cars to ram a vehicle being
Oh,
driven
so
by
there
federal
was 2
agents on
people
South
that tried to
Kedzie.
ram
They then allegedly
officers.
boxed the agents in. Those agents shot and wounded Martinez.
Or agents,
And this is
sorry.
video showing protests around the time of the incident. Martinez and Ruiz are charged with forcibly assaulting, impeding, and interfering with a federal law enforcement officer. They are being held in custody. Several federal agents were also hurt and taken to the hospital.
Well, there you have it. You get fucked if you impede federal officers. Male bus driver who goes by Miss Sharon. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Male bus driver who goes by Miss Sharon charged with sexually abusing multiple boys. Okay. Well, we got ourselves a predator. A North Carolina school bus driver who calls himself Miss Sharon. That's a dude with the wig. That's a dude. Has been charged with sexually assaulting several boys whom he lured to his house, cops say. What the fuck? Leet Wayne Daryl Tate, a 48-year-old male, also known as just Sharon, was arrested Tuesday and charged with 2 counts of statutory rape and 6 counts of indecent liberties with a minor, according to Charlotte Mecklenburg police. He is accused of assaulting at least 4 boys, aged 14 and 15 years old. But officials said there could be more victims. The children were found to be staying at his house, and the one of them claimed Tate offered him money in return for sex. An arrest affidavit obtained by WCNC read. Tate drove school buses for the Sugar Creek Charter School in Charlotte, but was suspended during the weeks-long investigation and then fired on September 30th, WCCP reported. None of the alleged crimes occurred on school property or while Tate was working his bus route, police said. It was on his off time. Tate, who is listed as 5'7" and 210, was sent to Mecklenburg County Jail, where he is being held on $1 million bond. His family has insisted he was innocent of the charges, but neighbors say they've been left disturbed by the allegations. It's pretty disturbing that it is so close to home and you are just shocked, neighbor Tony Sanders told WCNC. To me, it's a shame. 14, 15 years old can be so impressionable at that age. To think someone would take advantage of that is very alarming, he added. Fucking... That's what predators do. They look for easy targets. Drunk passenger accused of sexually assaulting Delta employee before flight out of Salt Lake City. A drunk passenger allegedly grabbed and twisted a Delta Airlines employee's breast while shouting a threat during a violent outburst at Salt Lake City International Airport. What the fuck, authorities? I'm sorry. So he was as he was drunk, he grabbed for someone's boob and kept shouting shit. Cody Sierra, so he wanted some Pound Town, I guess. I don't know. Cody Sierra Marie Bryan, 31, was arrested Wednesday and charged with sexual battery. Damn, it's a fucking young guy. Assault and public intoxication after the rampage, according to court documents. After boarding the Delta flight with Salt Lake City to Portland, Oregon, on Wednesday, Bryan allegedly refused repeated orders to move from the airplane aisle as other passengers were waiting to take their seats. So we just have a belligerent drunk retard who's being retarded. When she finally moved, police said she slammed her shoulder into a Delta worker, forcing the employee backward into a seat. The pilot immediately ordered Bryan off the plane. Well, yeah, because you just literally basically assaulted someone. According to Fox 13 TV. As she was being escorted off, Brian tried to bolt into a secure area of the terminal, investigators said. When airline employees blocked her path, she allegedly grabbed one woman by the neck, yanked her head toward the ground, and pulled her hair. After releasing her grip, Brian allegedly walked up again, grabbed the woman's breast, and twisted it hard while shouting a threat. The employee stated Brian squeezed and twisted her breast while saying, "If I ever find you alone," affidavit states. So basically, she's just a drunk bitch in her own head. Brian then ran toward the airport exit, according to police. She was later spotted trying to book a ticket with another airline before officers moved it to arrest her. Yeah, right. You're not gonna, yeah. Police said Brian resisted being handcuffed, forcing 2 officers to restrain her. In an interview after her arrest, Brian denied touching the Delta workers' breasts or assaulting anyone. But court records say she admitted she had been drinking earlier that morning and appeared severely intoxicated. Yeah, probably blacked out drunk. Brian was unable to hold an intelligible conversation, had the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from her person, had difficulty following directions, and needed assistance with walking, the documents said. So she was real fucked up. The Post has sought comment from Salt Lake City International Airport and the Salt Lake City Police Department. Brian was not immediately available to comment. Brian remained in custody on Friday at Salt Lake City Metro Jail. Salt Lake City police said alcohol-related unruly passenger cases have spiked since the pandemic, leading to more arrests at the airport. Well, yeah, because, well, for whatever reason, people are crazy. Federal law allows fines up to $37,000 for interfering with flight crews. Well, I mean, yeah, big-ass machinery. Why would you fuck with them? Brian's first court appearance is expected earlier next week. Delta has zero tolerance for abuse, disruptive, or unlawful behavior on our flights, an airline spokesperson told the Post. The safety and security of our customers and crew is our highest priority, and we take all incidents seriously. We will, while we do not comment on pending litigation, we are fully cooperating with law enforcement as the investigation proceeds. Yes, basically, usually if you're operating a plane and shit, yeah, and you do a crime on a plane, yeah, that's like federal crime. Because if that plane, for whatever reason, crashes and then into a group or into a city or place that's very populated, and you can see how this goes, right? But yeah, there you have it. That is it for that. I forgot to record all that, but there you go. There you have it. I'll leave everything in the description like usual. Yes, all the sources.